Now here, as we write down our notes, I want you to keep something in mind. We're going to write down some definitions, and I want you to start in this. If this is your paper, I want you to write the definition right in the center right here, and then we're going to write some terms, and then we're going to come up like this, much like an anchor. So as you write down your notes, I want you to write in the center of your paper. That way, when we get to the bottom, you can write some more definitions here, like so. So, how do you know what a culture really values? Their ideas of what is desirable in life? That's a good question. So, let's say in South Texas, do they value barbecuing? Many people would say, well, in South Texas, they do a lot of barbecuing. Well, then we would look at what are their norms? Their behavior that develop out of values. Is there a lot of barbecuing done on Friday night and Saturday nights? Well, the answer is yes. So, is barbecuing really valued? Well, if you look at the norms, the behavior, the answer would be yes. Another example would be South Korea. In South Korea, they value beauty, and they have a lot of plastic surgery. So their behavior indicates that they do value beauty because of the amount of plastic surgery being done in South Korea. That leads us to sanctions, official approval. Does a country approve of what is going on, a culture? What do they give a thumbs up to compared to what do they give a thumbs down to? What do they disapprove of? Positive sanctions, negative sanctions. Some cultures value gay marriage, so they would give that a thumbs up. However, some cultures do not approve of gay marriage, and they would give that a thumbs down. Some countries value owning guns, and they give that a thumbs up. However, there are some countries that do not value gun ownership, and they would give that a thumbs down. So how do you know what a culture really values? What are they doing, and what do they approve of compared to what do they disapprove of? Here are some Spartan soldiers in the Greek city-state of Sparta. They valued a strong army. They valued strong citizens. So, if a child was born sick or weak, they actually would get rid of the child. And they actually would give that a thumbs up. Now, in today's society, we do value, the United States values a strong army, but they would disapprove of getting rid of a sick child. So, what does a country approve of versus what does a country disapprove of? Now let's talk about folkways. These are norms not strictly enforced. These are what we call the unwritten rules of society. What does a culture have unwritten rules for? Now, if you don't know the unwritten rules, you could actually get in a lot of trouble. You need to be aware of what are the unwritten rules of the culture, because you could be doing some behavior that is considered offensive or rude without even knowing it. So, for example, this is an obvious one, saying bless you. Saying bless you is an unwritten rule. You don't have to do it, but it's considered polite. In Japan, bowing, if someone bows, you bow back. That's respectful. You don't have to do it, you're not going to get in trouble. It's an unwritten rule, but you're expected to bow back to be polite. Now, in some countries, shaking hands with the left hand, you would never do that. That would be considered rude, because the left hand is for going to the restroom. So if you try to shake hands or even touch somebody with your left hand, just to pat them on the back, it would be very rude if you did it with your left hand. Tattoo on lower back. It's mostly for females. Sure, males could get it, but it's kind of an unwritten rule. It's primarily for women. The country of Bolivia. Let's look at some folkways. In Bolivia, the women wear these bowler hats. Now, these are men's hats, but it just became an unwritten rule that they wear them, and it's given a positive sanction. No one looks at it as weird, it's given a thumbs up. Now, the other thing in Bolivia, the other thing that is an unwritten rule for women, it's okay for them to work on Friday nights doing a very unique job. What is that Friday night job? Many of them are professional wrestlers, and they get in the ring, and it's not frowned upon, it's given a thumbs up. Bolivian female wrestling, another example of a folkway, an unwritten rule. Now, the opposite of an unwritten rule, the written rules, the mores, and these are strictly enforced, and you can get in trouble for these. Every culture has its own different written rules. For example, marijuana laws, they change from place to place, from culture to culture. Some places it is illegal. Some places it's legal. Here's a young man, and he went to Singapore, and he decided to start doing graffiti. Now, what he didn't know, there was a law that states if you do graffiti, you will be punished, and you will be hit with a Singapore cane. He was unaware of the written rules, and when he was found guilty, he was hit with a Singapore cane. Nude sunbathing, legal in some areas, illegal in other areas. Saudi Arabia, there is a written rule that the women must cover their face. Gay marriage. Some places it's legal, in other places it is illegal. These are mores, the written rules. Using a cane in Singapore, a headscarf in Saudi Arabia, marijuana laws, gay marriage. These are all examples of the written rules.